He's back again. He steps on. He's hit. He stumbles. He is throwing it deep for the end zone, and it is batted around and incomplete. And the game is over.
Thanks for showing the beat.
Ooh, had the back door. Oh, Simmons threw it in reverse. Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here. Second and one. Here's Hughes giving it across. Oh, what a save!
So I guess go to my 17, which is Jimmy G. I think you did say he is not a big play guy. For the most part, all of the big plays, like especially like the Kittle plays, are usually just on their own, just individual, just talent. But Jimmy G is a serviceable quarterback. I'm not gonna give him more credit than he deserves. I'm not gonna give him less. I'm not gonna say he's bad. He's not bad. He did definitely. In comparison to their success as a team, he is not as good as the record shows. It's definitely credit to the defense and just, I don't know. I guess I would say Kittle is that much of a difference. Definitely. Best tight end in football. Got him off the waiver wire when he got passes from Nick Mullins. So I mean, I knew that's before everybody else. So anyway,
Nick Mullins was a legend. I don't know.
But yeah, that was a great game against I think it was the Raiders. Yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah.
When he caught it like that and just took it to the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that Kittle is definitely the fastest tight end in football. I still think Kelsey's better, but he's definitely the fastest and most dynamic tight end. I will definitely say that.
Yeah. And I do say the losses might affect his performance. And Mostert could be gone.
Yeah.
Breida went to the
Especially
Dolphins.
In run blocking schemes.
And I think even though we did say he's kind of on the downswing, I think Emmanuel Sanders does make a big difference in that.
I agree. He opens up. He does definitely open up that offense for the deep threat. I definitely feel like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they got Brandon Ayuk. I love Brandon Ayuk.
Really?
I think he's definitely got potential. I think he can be, I said, like an Alshon. I think that's definitely a possibility for him. He catches everything. He's not that fast. He's big, but he catches everything. I think that's great.
And I really like Deebo Samuel. I like
Deebo too, as long as he's not injured.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see with that. I think he'll probably play if we do have a season. These are what ifs, but I think that Deebo is definitely solid.
Yeah.
But my number 17 is Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, it's not awful. I think I'm overrating a few quarterbacks in this. So you can go ahead.
So Big Ben is my number 18. I just feel like there's a lot to be said about the last season he had in Pittsburgh. I think that was a very interesting season for me. Just because I think that really was a different version of Big Ben. There wasn't a lot of he was very pocket quarterback. There wasn't a lot of scrambling. It was more a shotgun almost offense, and Antonio Brown moving it to him. And he had a bad start. I mean, there were points he was definitely not a superstar quarterback as he was the previous season. I mean, if in 2017, I probably would have put Big Ben as borderline elite. I'm just kidding. And probably right behind, like, number 8, number 7. I mean, I think there was a certain amount of dynamicness that he lost, and I don't know with the injury he suffered if
that's a really big injury. Like, I don't know, he might not be able to come back. I say he will, but
I think he will. Yeah, I think
it's definitely up to. It's very up in the air.
Yeah, I think there's definitely gonna be stretches of this season where you're gonna see him struggle.
Yeah,
I think the accuracy is still gonna be there. The arm strength is probably still gonna be there, if weaker, because we know that diminishes as you get older. But I mean, I think he's going to be solid enough and definitely better than Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges.
Right. Well,
Maybe
that's
average.
not hard to do. It's not hard to do.
Yeah, that's not hard to do. Duck Hodges had a game, though. Duck Hodges had a couple of games. That Ravens game,
sure.
that was special.
Right. My number 18, this might be a little... I know a lot of these are really high, but I have Cam Newton at number 18. I think the New England system definitely could fit him. I know he doesn't have to be great to succeed, similar like a Tom Brady like last year, but I think if he stays healthy, stays on the field, and his receivers stay healthy too, like if N'Keal Harry's playing and Mohamed Sanu, Julian Edelman, like he has some decent options, and obviously good receiving backs like he plays Sony Michel. I mean, I know you say that they're very close with Buffalo, but I think Cam Newton could have a good season. He could come back. Last season, even though he was a bit injury prone, he was very injury prone actually, but in the games that he did play, he wasn't.
And you watched those 2018 games.
Yeah.
You watched those 2018 games though with North Turner. I mean, it's scary the things they unleashed him. I mean, it wasn't quite 2015 MVP, but that I think was the height of really what Cam Newton can do outside of that remarkable year. And I think if they can continue with that system, that's definitely something that can be used. He's my 18 too, actually. Right. This is my decent tier too. I forgot to say that. I'm still
in I think it's like a sort of I'm still in good, but it's a little less. Yeah. I'm just not putting them in decent because they're not. I think decent is just a little lower of a quality quarterback.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. So, I guess I'll go into my number 20 because we both did Cam. Or do you want to go 20?
Did you do 19?
Yeah, my 19 was Cam.
Oh, so you're 18. Who was your 18 then?
Big Ben.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my number 19, again, could be a hype train. Kyler Murray. I'm sorry. I know it's a very similar situation to a Drew Lock, but I think DeAndre Hopkins adds a lot to that offense. I mean, that rookie season for Kyler Murray I know it wasn't great. He still won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Which I think is questionable. I think Josh Jacobs might have deserved that a little more.
I think even Miles deserved it more, honestly.
I
think so, yeah.
I think Kyler, he still has a lot of potential. I think if that offense clicks, with that Cliff Kingsbury offense, I'm sorry that I just did that, but Kyler Murray, I know a lot of people were very surprised by that pick and thought they should have kept with Rosen, but seeing how he's panned out, I think he is definitely a better option and better for that future. I mean, even if they did get Bosa, I don't think that offense would have been good at all. I think Kyler definitely elevates that team, and adding those weapons like DeAndre Hopkins on offense, and you still have some good players like since Christian Kirk's moving down the depth chart, he would have a lot better matchups, a lot more favorable matchups. Larry Fitz isn't really gone. I'm not going to count him out. Kenyon Drake is still pretty great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Kyler Murray, he is my number 19, but it definitely
is it 19 or 20? Because I'm on 20.
I think
sure
you just did. Yeah, you're on your 20 now.
Yeah. So, my number 20 is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's not terrible. I think I have him at like 23.
I think there's a lot of overhate on Baker Mayfield based on the overhype that went into last season. I love the Browns too, but I think some people went a little far with that. I mean, I saw people who were picking them to win the Super Bowl. Madden, they consistently, every time I played franchise, I swear, the Browns would win the Super Bowl. And I still don't understand it, how that engine made that.
Yeah.
But Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. He's not the most accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
He's definitely consistent too.
He's definitely consistent. But when he's on, the arm strength is there. He can definitely scramble. He can definitely throw on the run. That's a huge thing with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I mean, his ability the size he is to escape the pocket and throw on the run. That's part of how he won that Heisman in college. And so, I mean, I love him coming into 2020, to be honest. I think, he seems the most motivated he's been in a while. He's not, out partying and having fun. I think he's focused on football after, overhype and the disappointment that was the Cleveland Browns last season. So I'm excited to see what 2020 holds for the Browns. I think they can definitely compete with the Steelers for second place in that division, maybe sneak in as a wild card. I can definitely see that.
So my number 20, I know you got him a lot higher, but Ryan Tannehill might be a little low, but I liked what he was doing, but I think he was a little overhyped, a little overrated. He's still a good quarterback, I'll give him that, but I think he just got so underrated to a point that now he's overrated.
I can see that.
Yeah. And I think I mean he was good. He didn't have the best options, but AJ Brown and he had some respectable players, and he did a lot more than he overperformed.
Yeah.
Even though Derrick Henry obviously carried that offense to the AFC Championship, you can make the argument that Ryan Tannehill really made a difference, but I wouldn't.
Think he did. I definitely think he did.
I mean, I would say if Mariota,
he's definitely. I mean, the accuracy of Ryan Tannehill in those playoffs was spectacular. You watch that Tennessee game, and that RPO, that is what makes that Derrick Henry offense work. That ground and pound is through that RPO through Tannehill, and that was really important. I feel like through those playoffs, almost like a Nick Foles like that.
Okay. So who's number 21?
Wow, we're really trading guys that we had higher now. Derek Carr, number 21.
Oh.
Yep.
Disrespecting my boy.
I like Derek Carr, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. There's just not much to say. There's inconsistency, I feel like. You said it, you've got to give him credit for the amount of weapons, but I didn't even love him when Amari was there, to be honest. That season where everybody hyped up that Raiders team, I don't think he was fantastic. You know what I mean? I think he was pretty good. I think, you look at him, I think he had a similar year to say what Dak had last year. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, I mean, I think he's always going to be average. I think Oakland is fine with that. And, I mean, I'm hoping he gets back and continues to develop to somewhere near that. What was it, 2016? I feel like it was 2016.
Somewhere around there.
That level, yeah. But, I mean, we're looking at a guy who we are now 6 years into his career, and you can't really name a truly standout performance that he's had. He's always been, he was fine. He was a good part of the offense.
Okay.
But, yeah.
The farther I look into this, the more awful I see these takes as. But number 21, even though he had a very, very, very down year for the LA Chargers, I have Phillip Rivers.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. But I will say, I think Indianapolis deserves a shot. I think he could definitely rebound there, because if you ignore that last season that was really shaky, he has been a perennial top 15 quarterback in the league.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And I mean, I know he doesn't have as great weapons as he did there, but he still has some solid options. Like he has.
Yeah.
I think T.Y. is a little injury prone, but they also have like Paris Campbell,
Zach Pascal.
Yeah, Zach Pascal, Michael Pittman, right? They got Pittman, right?
Is Ebron still there? I feel like
Ebron went to the Steelers.
The Steelers.
They still have Jack Doyle. He's okay. And they have
Yes,
a nice...
They have McDonald. Vance McDonald.
Yeah, and they have a pretty deep running back room with, like, Taylor, Hines,
Marlon
and
Mack.
Marlon Mack, yeah.
Marlon Mack is solid. I like Marlon Mack.
So, Phillip Rivers, he could be another player in that conversation for comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think if the defense is better than it was last year, and Phillip Rivers, Phillip Rivers doesn't have to be great, but if he just plays better than Jacoby Brissett was last year, then they could sneak in the playoffs because that division is not hard to win at all.
I mean, I'm gonna get more into Phillip Rivers later, but you have to watch that Monday Night Football game against the Chiefs. I mean, it's brutal to watch because I've always thought Phillip Rivers has been underrated throughout his career.
Yeah.
But it's brutal to see that game with the inaccuracy and the amount of picks he threw. I mean, it's not good. But my number 22 is Kyler Murray. You obviously had him a lot higher too.
Wait, who was your 21 then? No, this is really
Carr.
annoying.
Derek
Okay.
Carr. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, you're gonna be really mad at my 22.
Oh God.
It's
gonna be with Drew Lock, isn't it?
No, it's not Drew Lock. Drew Lock is a lot lower.
Kyler Murray, he was disappointing. He really was for me. I mean, I know that Arizona offensive line wasn't great, and he found himself running around in circles a lot of times. Yeah. But with the way I got so hyped up after those first 3 weeks, I felt like, where, I mean, the arm was definitely there. Mm-hmm. He was making plays with guys like Larry Fitz, who I think is definitely on the back end of his career. Guys like
Andy Isabella.
Yeah, Andy Isabella, exactly. And so, I mean, he definitely slipped the back half of the season. Yeah. I feel like there's definitely a stretch there where, I mean, he was just very, very vanilla to watch. There was not a lot going on with that offense, and they didn't really put up many points. That was an offense that was, I think they were in the back half of the NFL, despite Cliff Kingsbury being their coach, which is a little tough for me to stomach.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of potential for Kyler Murray this season. We talked about the hype behind this team, the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, the weapons he now has. And so, there's no reason why he can't be breakout player of the year. There's no reason why.
Mm-hmm. So my 22, you will be pissed at my number 22.
Yo.
It is the new quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. I have Teddy Bridgewater at number 22.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What?
But I have a reason. I swear to God. Okay. So,
yeah.
You lose Drew Brees for a few games to injury. He is I think what could make Teddy Bridgewater the 22nd best quarterback, which is still not great, would be just be a game manager, let Christian McCaffrey do your thing, and you still have two good receivers like DJ Moore. As I think I think you didn't even know that he had 1,000 yards last season until I told you.
I thought he had like 600. I did.
Yeah. And then you add Robbie Anderson, who definitely could help. And I mean, Curtis Samuel was a little bit of a stretch, but I think if you put Robbie Anderson in the number 2 role instead of number 1, like he was in the Jets, he could be great. And DJ Moore, I mean, he is definitely an up-and-coming player.
I agree.
He was on my fantasy team, so I'm kind of biased. He definitely saved me out of some games that could have lost. But, I mean, he all he has to do is be okay, which is where he's at 22, is okay. And then Carolina might be not as awful as they will be, but they will not be great. But
I'll talk more again about it later, but I have Teddy 25 just because,
it's not awful.
Yeah. Watch the New Orleans tape. It's
okay.
My 23 is Phillip Rivers, who I already, the picks are always going to worry me. This guy threw 23 touchdowns and 20 picks last season. For a guy who threw, like 8 the season before, the amount of regression is spectacular. And the fact that, that offense with the weapons they had should have been a lot better. And there's definitely a lot of blame that has to be put up on Rivers because he was so inconsistent.
Mhm.
We're talking about Keenan Allen, who is definitely a top 10 NFL wide receiver. We're talking about a guy in Austin Eckler, who I think will be a top 15 running back, and Melvin Gordon, who has definitely slipped off for me, but could be a top 15 running back. They've got
Mike Williams, Hunter Henry.
Yeah, Michael Williams. Yep, who was very talented out of college. Great jump ball receiver. His vertical is insane. And so I think Rivers, you have to look at, the reasons why that offense wasn't great. And the only 2 things you can look at are there are some holes in the offensive line and Rivers. And so, I like what he has, like you said, going into Indianapolis. I like T.Y. Hilton a lot more than most people. I think there are a lot of young pieces in there for him to help contend. And I think they will be a factor in the playoff race. But I don't know how much I can trust Phillip Rivers going.
We're getting into the decent quarterbacks. So.
Yeah, I've been in decent. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'll switch Rivers and Bridgewater into decent, and now This is technically in my start of my decent tier of 23. Baker Mayfield, I'm sorry, I know you had him a lot higher.
Baker, no.
He's very consistent. When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he is bad. With the talent he had on that offense, there was no reason why they shouldn't have competed.
That is true.
When you have 2 arguably top 15 receivers, and you have what I could think is like a top 7 running back in the league.
You have to admit, it looked like Freddie Kitchens won. And I don't know that Odell was trying at certain points.
Yeah.
I don't. He kind of you watch some of these routes, he kind of just is hanging out, kind of slipping away. And so I think if they can work on their chemistry, there's something there. Yeah.
Right. And go to your number 24.
24.
Yeah.
Number 24. You're going to get mad at this one because I have him before Teddy. One spot before Teddy Bridgewater is the man, the myth, the legend, Danny Dimes. I know. It's early.
I have him at 27, so it's not terrible.
I like a lot what Daniel Jones did last season in comparison to what I thought he was going to perform.
I thought it was going to be terrible.
Which was that Tampa Bay game, that first Tampa Bay game.
That run in for the win was so
insane. Exactly. If you look at it, he doesn't have the most arm strength, but he's incredibly accurate. Yeah. The fumbles are definitely an issue.
Yeah, it's similar to Carson.
It's similar to Carson, definitely. But if he can continue to develop, he has so many weapons around him. Yeah. Saquon, Sterling Shepard,
Darius Slayton is kind of
Darius Slayton, Golden Tate, Evan Ingram. Like that offense is to an extent loaded, if you want to. I think the performance of Dwayne Haskins definitely makes that pick look a lot better. We're gonna talk about him
a lot later.
Way later. He was pretty bad. So, Danny Dimes, I honestly thought, he played as well as Kyler to me. He really did. I saw holes in both of their games that I think could definitely be improved on. I think Kyler definitely has a more open offense going into 2020 with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. But you never know. The Giants can come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. So my number 24, I'm going to switch some around because I think he's too high. I'll go with I think I'll go with Ryan Fitzpatrick, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think
Magic early.
To be completely real. If they had Josh Rosen, they would have had the number 1 pick. He won them a lot of games that they didn't intend on winning. He is the definition of an average quarterback. He can win you a game for no reason. We'll never forget that hot start in Tampa last year.
Oh, God.
Stealing Deshaun Jackson's clothes.
The Nick Foles game. Yep.
Yeah, I mean he has been consistently good. He is decent. He is number 24. Like if you tell me that he's the 24th out of like 32 quarterbacks, he's not great. But this is getting to the serviceable quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna make you a great team, but he does what he can. He does enough.
So, my number 25, I guess my first serviceable. You can debate about this one. It's Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater played a couple games last season.
Yeah,
he did. And in those games, that New Orleans Saints offense kind of stunk. To be real, it kind of did. Teddy Bridgewater's not the most accurate. He's got a fine arm. Like, it's okay. He's obviously a good runner, has been since his college days, but he's never going to be the same player he was in Minnesota. That's obvious. Even the one he was before he got hurt, when he was just beginning to reach his potential, he's never going to be that player again. Yeah. I really feel like that. Mm-hmm. But if he can adjust his game, work on his accuracy, slowly get back to that, I mean, there's talent there, definitely. You can see it. There are throws he makes, that are impressive. But I just feel like you watch that Saints offense with Breeze, and you watch the Saints offense with him, and even you watch that Saints offense with Taysom Hill, who I thought played better. It's just not there for me, and I think he's definitely got overpaid. I would have kept Cam.
I think where we're at in this list shows how indicative the quality of quarterback we're at. So number 25, Mr. 30-30, couldn't eat this W. Jameis Winston, let's go. Woo! All right. So, I will admit, the turnovers are obviously a problem, but is that eye surgery actually is he giving that going to transform? Was he actually?
Don't give me the stuff about that.
I know, but was he actually? Did that make him that bad? But if you okay, this is a classic Jameis Winston quote. If you ignore all of the turnovers, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
If you ignore all 30 interceptions, he is the best quarterback in the league. Yes.
I mean, the arm is still good. He can get plays. He can get plays for his receivers.
Yeah.
He is the definition of average again, similar to Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
He would be a good backup to Drew Brees. Honestly, I think that was a surprising move, but I mean it's okay.
Yeah, and it gives him the ability to develop. Really, yeah. I mean we're talking about a guy who we put top 5 still at 36 years old, and so he can work on him with maturity, with the accuracy, obviously, because Drew Brees is an accurate quarterback, and so yeah.
A very similar situation to like Teddy Bridgewater, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Just room for him to develop, similar to last year.
Yeah, if Breeze goes down, he might be able to come away with some games. I don't know.
I have Jameis 26 too.
I
just feel like it's a good situation for him to develop. I think he should have gone to Pittsburgh. Honestly, I think he would have given Big Ben a run for his money in training camp for that job. But it's good for him to develop under a Hall of Fame quarterback. It definitely is. So, 27.
Yeah. I mean, I think I put him at 25. So,
you're 26. You're 26.
I'm 26. It's a toss-up between Daniel Jones and Drew Lock for me, because I mean, I'll give the edge. I'll give the edge to Danny Dimes because I think the mobility is a lot better. The accuracy is a lot better. He didn't have a lot to work with, especially with Saquon down for a few games. Actually, a lot of games. As someone who drafted Saquon number 2, I'm very pissed about that.
Yes.
And,
You
and
can't diss on Saquon, though. We love Saquon.
yeah. Saquon's still a good guy, but like, stay healthy, please. All right. So I mean, Daniel Jones. We already talked about it. He definitely overperformed for how much he got clowned.
Exactly.
I think he was thrown into a fire that he's succeeded in to a degree so far. The fumbles are definitely a big problem. I think if he gets that out of the way, he could be an above average quarterback. But as of now, he is decent. He's decent.
I agree.
26. Are you going 26 or 27? This is going to be like a
27.
All right.
This is going to get a lot of controversy, Ethan John. A lot of people are going to come at me for this.
Oh God.
It's the risky one.
I can see.
Number 27.
I can see the ghosts already.
The ghosts. Sam Darnold, the number 27 quarterback. Look, Sam Darnold is not good at football.
He's not very.
He's not.
We are at 20,
very good at football.
Yeah, we are at 27 now, so I don't know why you're complaining that he's this low.
But there is potential. You look at college, there's definitely an arm there. He's had games where it's shown. You watch that Houston game this year, definitely shines through. He can take over. He's not had many weapons in his career, definitely.
And he lost one.
I love Robbie Anderson, but he's not great.
And so we are not going to talk about Denzel Mims on this podcast.
No, we will not talk about this.
No. After he insulted Philadelphia, we can never forgive him.
Absolute bust. He does not deserve the screen time from this podcast.
He is the next Dorial Green Beckham. I'm saying
exactly.
That is how bad it's going to end up.
Absolute bust. But I don't know, man. It's a little early to completely judge Sam Darnold and call off his career. Yes, he's been bad, but there's still a little light from his USC days through, and if he can get through that tunnel, then maybe there's a chance.
Okay, I've held back talking about that Rose Bowl for a while, but we'll get back to that. My number 27 is Drew Lock. I know. Definitely another hype train, similar to you could say Baker from last year. I don't know. It's not to that level, but I think with the weapons he has, he should be great. He not great immediately, but at some point, like once Sutton and Judy fully develop, he could be in the playoffs. And honestly, the Broncos could be, if everyone stays healthy, especially on the defense, like Bradley Chubb, stay healthy on that defense, and they could sneak in the wild card, like 7 seed, maybe.
Well, I think they will. That AFC is decimated.
Yeah.
I honestly think, you can make an argument that New England is the third best team in the AFC. Then that's crazy to say, considering, you know what I mean? That's how decimated it is. So, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But I have him 28 too. I just feel like there's so much to prove for him because what he played 4 games.
Yeah, he did not play many games. That's all.
Yeah, and he was fine. He was good enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He had some decent drives. I know he had that one drive where he had that crazy touchdown to what's his name?
Portland Sutton.
Yeah, Portland Sutton. But besides him dancing on the sideline, there hasn't been really a big so I definitely think Denver is a team in 2020. They are one of, if not my favorite sleeper pick for the 2020 NFL season, just because of the talent on defense as well as the young weapons on offense. But I need to see him play.
Yeah,
I really do.
Okay, 28. Okay, I think I'm at 28 now. I'm not sure, but at 28, we have The man, the legend. We have Gardner Minshew. I'm sorry. I know we're very low
Wow,
into this. What do you think
that's
above
really
Nick Foles?
wow.
I know above Nick Foles, yeah. But I mean, I'm not as much of a fan as him as a lot of people are. I know his arm is not spectacular. If you look at that Houston game, oh my God, he was terrible.
Yeah, and they still
But
only
he is,
next.
yeah, he's good in the pocket. He's pretty great in the pocket actually. He can avoid
Yeah,
pressure, not to a level like a Russ or Carson, obviously, but he I know he will be on one of the worst teams in football, but he will be. I know we're at below average, but he will be okay. He has some all right options. He has DJ Chark, DD Westbrook. I know they got Chenault, which actually I thought was a good pick for the value. And
it's good
have
that they're
fun,
seeing the value of him. I
have
feel like.
fun, have fun going 4-12. That's all I'm saying, Gardner Minshew.
My 29 is Fitzmagic.
Yeah,
I know
good.
you put him a lot earlier. I
Yeah,
agree with the statement that he's very average. And you know, he's meant to be a backup quarterback. I think
yeah.
that's, you know, Ryan
Mhm.
Fitzpatrick is not meant to be a consistent quarterback in the NFL.
No,
But
no way.
at the point where we're at, like you said, the below average, I mean, you know, he's gonna have a game for you, obviously, where he goes off, but don't expect there's gonna be inconsistency. And the arm is still there. That's the big thing for me. I
Yeah,
mean, what was he drafted? 2007. So for him to be that old and still have that arm,
mhm,
that's pretty good for me. So, I mean, for a backup quarterback to be that high, I think it's pretty good.
yeah. So number 29. Sorry, my guy. I'm sorry you're so low, but Nick Foles.
My
I
jersey's
mean,
upstairs.
he's in a very bad situation. He is competing with Mitch Trubisky for a starting job. And I mean, his one game against I wouldn't even say it wasn't even a full game. His like couple drives against Kansas City was actually promising. But
Yeah.
I mean, you have some okay play. I mean, Allen Robinson's good, but other than that, he doesn't have much to work with. And
Yeah.
I can see him declining a little bit, to be honest. But if we ignore objectivity, of course, Nick Foles is a legend. I don't have any bad blood for him, of course. Oh,
Of course.
even though it is so bizarre that the team he beat in the playoffs, he's now going to be competing for the job in.
I mean, yeah,
We wish him the best.
we do.
Even though
My favorite Eagles player ever.
you might be one of the worst teams in football too. If you
The
if
Bears? Really?
I can
You don't
see
like
them.
that defense that much, do you?
I mean, I drafted their defense.
Yeah.
I mean, that offense is just so mediocre.
I think they're 7-9, 6-10. And I think
Yeah,
they're around where they are last year because honestly I don't think they changed that much. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
But
and I'll get
if the
into
quarterback
like
is
Trubisky
the
too.
quarterbacking is that bad, I can see them going for like maybe even like Justin Fields. To be honest, it happens a
Definitely.
lot. It happens a
Yeah.
lot in Madden.
Straight
So
up.
yeah,
Yeah. And if we don't have a college season though, I mean, there's a possibility we might not.
mhm,
I mean, Justin Fields could go number one. We have to accept that as
yeah.
a possibility. So they could even get Trevor Lawrence.
For 30 of Tyrod Taylor
Okay.
over Justin Herbert, I would definitely say you should start over there. Just let him sit behind there, even though he's not even going to be good. Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
both said that. He, the Chargers are in a really weird spot where
they are.
they have offensive weapons for sure, but the quarterbacking is not there. And geez, if Justin Herbert's a quarterback of their future, they're going to stay as the team with the best uniforms, the most mediocre team.
I
So
mean, you look at it though, Tyrod Taylor, it's underrated how good he was in Buffalo. Buffalo fans hated him, but he was really good, to be honest. He had that running escape ability. He was kind of accurate. And so, if he can do something like that That's better than what Phillip Rivers did last season. So
It's number 31.
31. Yep. It hurts me to put. I can't put Trubisky over Nick Foles.
Then
It would
just
hurt me
put-
too badly.
just put
I'm
Nick
not
Foles.
gonna do
Put
it.
Nick Foles.
I'm going to put Nick Foles. My favorite football player of all time for what he did for the city, bringing home that championship. Just, obviously he's inconsistent. Obviously there are going to be quote unquote Nick Foles playoff games where, he goes off for his 3 touchdowns and it looks like he's going to be the league MVP. But if you can run that RPO offense around Nick Foles can definitely be a solid quarterback in the regular season as well. I mean, he has had decent success. You look at the Chip Kelly year, You look at how they ran that offense. It's very similar to what Doug has done, and it's very similar. What's his name? The Bears coach is part of that same coaching tree.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good fit for him. I don't love that Bears team, but I think if he can be a game manager, almost like the role he played in that Atlanta game in the playoffs a couple of years ago, if he can be like that, then I think that Bears offense is fine.
Yeah. So number 31. I know you saw Ghost a lot earlier than I did. But,
Yeah.
I don't think he'll do good at all this season because he doesn't have a true number 1 at all. Robbie Anderson was even a true number 1, and now your best
What
receiver.
about our man Denzel Mims?
Denzel Mims. Jameis proud of this. Adam. The coaching is not giving him any help at all. Adam Gase, one of the worst in the league for sure. But individually, another turnovers are a problem. The arm is okay, but he is definitely in the bottom tier of quarterbacks.
I would agree. All right, so 32 is going to be Mitchell Trubisky. It is going to be.
For me.
I have avoided talking about the biscuit for a long time now. But
He's just bad.
did not see it.
He's just bad, bro.
I thought that was a confusing pick. He is bad, bro. North Carolina is where he went.
Yeah.
And they took him over Deshaun Watson.
And Patrick Mahomes, of course.
And Patrick
Right.
Mahomes.
He wasn't going to go number 2, of course.
But, just the sheer amount of ducks that Mitchell Trubisky throws on a game-week basis is honestly depressing. And I feel bad for Bears fans because you look at their history, it's Jay Cutler is the best quarterback they've probably had in the past 20 years. Maybe Rex Grossman. Yeah. I feel legitimately bad. And maybe he can turn his career around. Maybe he can turn it to
good. For sure.
I doubt it. I think, he may have a career as a backup, but we'll see. I don't trust him as a starter no matter what.
Either.
And I don't know if I trust Nick Foles to push him, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it might end up that way.
Yeah, I'd say the exact same thing. So the last quarterback on here. I'm so sorry. You're my boy. I'm a closeted Ohio State fan. I'm gonna admit it. But Dwayne Haskins, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry that you're the worst starter in football. I thought you were definitely the second best quarterback, maybe even the best quarterback in that draft last year.
Yeah.
And just looking how he played, it's been god awful. He doesn't really have many options. I know Jordan Reed has been hurt for a while.
But this man plays like his feet are in quicksand.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know his best run, he had like a 25-yard run, but that was there was nobody in a mile of radius of him. He's not mobile. He's not what a NFL team would want right now.
Nah.
He is accurate at points. Of course, he was very accurate in college. He's not a cannon arm at all. I don't know.
He
I-
had
I-
an arm in college. This is what
Yeah.
makes this so confusing. Because in college, his arm was fantastic. Here, it looks like he can't throw over 20 yards.
It
And
is not looking
so
good.
I think it might just be part of the system and what, I mean, they were running under that limited weapons that the Redskins had, but it's still bad.
Very bad.
Shout
Yeah,
out to
well,
our
yeah,
coach
yeah.
for dealing with this.
I really want Dwayne Haskins to succeed, but Washington will probably ruin him, as they ruin most things. They better not ruin Chase Young, by the way. But that's a different conversation. Anyways, we have been recording for 1 hour and 51 minutes.
I didn't even get to do my last ones.
Oh, yo, I'm sorry. But
I
we
haven't
both.
done 33 and 34.
Well, you have a 30. I only had 33.
Really? I don't know. Tyrod Taylor and Dwayne Haskins are my last two. Tyrod's 33, Dwayne Haskins is 34. Athan John, pretty much. I mean, Dwayne Haskins is not good at football. That team is bad. Tyrod Taylor, I think, was underrated in Buffalo, but is not deserving of the starting quarterback job, especially with the fact that they could have got Cam Newton. But, yeah.
Yep. And recording forever is going to take forever to edit. I'm
We're
sorry.
breaking this into two parts. And get ready, because once the NBA bubble starts,
We're going to be miserable.
We're gonna be heating up. We're going to be heating up.
Well, anyways, this has been taking forever. All of my devices are about to die from recording this. So thank you for listening. Check out our website. Check out our website.
HungryDogSportsblog.com.
Yeah. Anyways,
Right.
see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.